Gone are those days where you need to find people only in your suburb, only in your city, and only in your country. When you work together in a team, conflicts are bound to arise. And it's a natural part of being in a team and working with people. But as a leader, it's important for us to develop the conflict resolution strategies. The ways that we can reduce different communication barriers is by really tapping into the software tools, be it like Slack, Loom, and many other project management tools. Where do businesses go wrong when you manage and lead teams which have multicultural background? The first and foremost one is welcome to Build Remotely, where we help founders scale their businesses with high-performing remote teams. I'm Darshan Chavan, and over the past 11 years, I have helped hundreds of business owners like you get more free time, increase profits, and also unlock exponential growth using remote teams. I have also built my own team of over 100 staff in around 4 countries. In this podcast, I'll share with you the mindset, the strategies, and the leadership tools that will help you build a remote team that scales without any chaos. Ready to grow your business faster with less stress? Let's go. Today we'll be discussing a very important aspect of running remote teams, and that's how to really lead teams which are coming from different cultural backgrounds across the entire globe. And this is all about your cultural intelligence. How do you make sure people who come from different countries and different geographical location work together and get the best out of it? Before that, let's really try to understand what is cultural intelligence. So here's what I have understood. Cultural intelligence is about our ability to understand, adapt, and work effectively with people who are coming from different cultural backgrounds. And to be honest with you, this is a very, very core leadership principle and a leadership skill as well that we need to hone and we need to get better at. And especially these days, if you look at it, most of the teams are way more distributed than ever. And because people these days are coming from different backgrounds, different time zones, and people do like living a laptop lifestyle. So even in our business currently, we have people from 5 different countries altogether. This include Australia, India, US, Philippines, and Vietnam. And having people from 5 different countries, and each country has its own culture, each country has its own tradition, it becomes so much more important to understand how each people operate, what are their drivers, what are their values, and how we can leverage each of them to grow a really high performing remote team. So we'll be discussing today about the things that we need to consider while working in a distributed multicultural team. And we'll be talking about 5 things. The first and foremost is about really understanding what are some of the differences in culture, what are some of the differences in personalities. And before we do that, it's important to understand and become aware that not one culture, not one personality is good and one is bad. It's just different. That's how it is. And I'll talk to you about some of the things that we currently face as well, leading teams across 5 different countries. And I can see that some of the cultures are completely direct. That's where the communication is. And some cultures, they try to avoid conflict, they talk less. And some cultures prefer balance. And some cultures and some countries, it's very normal to work 6 days a week and also extra hours without expecting any extra pay. So as a leader, it just comes down to us understanding how each culture is different, each country is different, each team member is different. And once we are able to understand these things and make it a part of the company culture, it becomes so much more easier. For example, I'll give you a clear example for me as well. I could clearly see that Filipinos, because we have a big team in Philippines, they absolutely love karaoke. Okay, whereas here in Australia we don't even have much of a karaoke places to go and spend time. Whereas in Philippines it's so much more normal. So what we do is whenever we go and visit our team in Philippines, we make sure at the end of any day we go and visit a karaoke bar. We spend time with our team members in the different kinds of karaoke and have good time with them, because it just builds our bonding. It just increases the relationship with our team members. Whereas when I look at India, we have a few staff there as well. Some of the festivals are really big over there. And people tend to spend at least 2 days and 3 days in these festivals. And it's important to understand that this is the time when they need a vacation and when they need some time off. The second thing to understand about cross cultural backgrounds is about their motivations as well. Some of the cultures are a bit individualistic, and some of them involve family as well. There's nothing right or wrong. It's just important to understand what drives some people and what drives other people as well. For some people, the social status drives them. Some are driven by significance. And in some of the cultures, they do care about what their parents think about, what their extended family thinks about, what their neighbors thinks about. And this is how it works. So it's important to leverage what works for them. The third one to be really aware of when working with people from different countries is about the time zones. This is a big one, and it's important to get it clear. And also, when you have a chat with the team member, understanding what times will they be available for. So that's why it's important to get that time zone thing right. And you can also interact with people having an asynchronous communication, because these days it's not a must that people all need to be available at the same time. Thanks to tools like Loom and different softwares like Slack and many other things, you don't need to have a chat with people every single day. So you can speak with them using Loom, and the communication can still happen using a project management tool. Things can still get done. It's not a barrier, to be honest with you, different time zones. It can be an asset when you support customers as well. And to be honest with you, in one of our businesses, we use this as our best USP or our best selling points, where we offer our customers after hours support. So even though it's 4:30 in Australia, it will be 2:30 in Philippines. So what we do is we use this as our one of our best-selling features, where we tell our clients we do offer service from 4:30 p.m. till 7:30 p.m. Australia. And it really blows their mind. How are you able to do this? And the only reason why we are able to do this is because we have people from different cultural background in different country as well. And our clients feel really valued, they feel supported, because they can get in touch with our customer support even after work hours, because we are not available just 9 to 5, but we are available from 5 to 7 p.m. as well. And this can be a huge asset for any business that has a remote team. And another thing that we were able to identify is there are certain job roles that are really good in different countries. Again, I'm not generalizing it. There are always exceptions to the rule. There are always differentiations as well that will come across. But what I have seen is, like, there are certain countries where you get to tap into the best talent over there. Whereas, for example, if I take Philippines, we usually outsource most of our customer support, all our data entry, virtual assistant, social media, anything that is repetitive work to Philippines. And we can see that we get some really good results from there. And when it comes to India, I can see that most of the thing that we can outsource is with related to tech, be it your software, your app development, your CFO, virtual CFO services, bookkeeping, website, SEO, and sometimes pretty good leadership team as well. And when we look at US, the things that we have found outsourcing or getting help from is with regards to hiring absolutely world-class consultants, especially with related to marketing and strategy. This has worked really, really well for us. Just quickly, guys, if you have found us struggling to scale your business without burning out or hiring the wrong people, we can help. Book in a call with me using the link in the show notes, and let's help you build a lean and a high-performing remote team that frees up your time and also increases your profits. Now, back to the episode. Another very important component of building and working with teams with different cultural backgrounds is about the cultural intelligence and what drives this cultural intelligence. The first one is about the motivation. and understanding how each team member is different, and it can work as an asset for you. It need not be a limiting thing, but it can be a big asset. And it just comes down to how curious you are as a leader and how willing you are to learn about more cultures. The more we have a closed mindset, it becomes so much more harder. When you have more of an open mindset, it's just so much more easier to relate to people and look at the benefits of it. The second thing is about thinking about it in a strategic level as well. All right, where it can really help you become more aware and start planning when you're interacting with people across different cultures. And more importantly, when you speak with people in different positions. I'll give you an example. When I speak with someone like my CFO, I don't need to have the same kind of language and the same kind of communication pattern when I speak with my salesperson or when I speak with my marketing person, because all these three people have different personalities and they look at things in a different way. And it's so important for me to understand and be more aware even before I start the call, before I start the meeting, who am I speaking with? All right, what do they value? What is their background? All right, and what is their personality? The more I tailor my communication to these people, it becomes so much more easier. And the next one is about adapting our own communication style and making sure that we fit that particular cultural context. And the most important one is just be understanding this is something that we cannot avoid. It's something that's going to happen more and more because, especially these days, the teams are getting distributed very much. And the reason being, businesses can see now that they can tap into high level talent in different countries. You are never limited by your geographical location. Gone are those days where you need to find people only in your suburb, only in your city, and only in your country. We now have the benefit to tap into the top cream of the crop talent across different countries. The only thing is, does your business provide that foundation? Does your business provide that theme and that culture where all these people from different demographics can come, collaborate, and work together towards achieving a strong mission? And the biggest thing I can see is it also helps you reduce the misunderstandings that happen in global teams. And this is a common complaint or common challenge I hear as well when I speak with different business owners, them trying to put everyone in the same basket and trying to understand that why is this person responding differently and why is this person responding differently. Rather than that, increasing your own EQ and understanding that this is how it is and we just need to change our communication style. And the more I try to understand and work on my own cultural intelligence, I can see that it builds trust and it builds respect across teams in different countries and different geographic locations. And I can also see that it's kind of my own personal development journey, makes me more adaptable, makes me a better leader, because I need to change my communication style. I need to make it more adaptable when I speak with people in different positions and across different regions as well. And more importantly, I can see that this is going to be an asset that businesses can use as an innovative thing. And also, when we onboard multicultural teams, it's very important to have this clarity of what is really expected of them, be it the time zone that they're going to work in, the different kinds of people that they will be interacting with, and also making them understand that these are the people from different cultural backgrounds. This is what they value. And when this happens, it just becomes so much more easier. Another very important thing that I like to address is, where do businesses go wrong when you manage and lead teams which have multicultural background? The first and foremost one is having a one size fits all kind of leadership style. This rarely works because when you have people working in different time zones with different cultural backgrounds and different philosophy and personalities, it is a recipe for disaster. And I believe somehow it just has to be customized, and it has to work in such a way that you're very flexible and you're adaptable. And the second thing is about overlooking the cultural differences and not trying to understand that this is how people are, this is how they come from different background, and it's more important for us as leaders to change and keep getting better. And the third one is in failing to establish shared values and mission and a vision as well. Because once a company has a particular values, vision, and a mission statement, it doesn't matter if people are working in different backgrounds and different time zone. Everyone is aligned to this mission and value, and that's what drives them towards this. Another important thing is about the communication barriers, and the ways that we can reduce different communication barriers by really tapping into the software tools, like be it like Slack, Loom, and many other project management tools, where the collaboration is going to become so much more easier. And being aware of handling different conflicts, because when you work together in a team, conflicts are bound to arise, and it's a natural part of being in a team and working with people. But as a leader, it's important for us to develop the conflict resolution strategies. And the important reminder over here, when you work with people from different backgrounds, is to understand that every one of us is having a common goal. Okay, and understanding every single team and every single project, every single department, the goal is to make sure that we work together as one team in achieving this mission, and that can happen only when we all align together. And what we usually do in our business is to meet at least in one place or one country every year, so that we can bring all the team members together. It increases the bonding, it increases the trust with each other, and it has a huge impact. And more importantly, as a leader, I can see that this is a continuous learning development journey for me as well, to improve my emotional quotient. And the better my emotional quotient or EQ is, it's going to be so much more easier for me to build high performing teams. I'd like to discuss a massive communication barrier that happened when I was doing an interview. Okay, and on the interview, this was for a position of a content manager. We were just trying to hire for a content manager. And in the interview, I was asking them to come up with a proposal as to if they were supposed to be hired as a content manager, what would they do? What would be the 30-day, 60-day, and 90-day game plan? And I thought that they had understood it pretty well. And they did say that as well in the interview, that they will be able to prepare it and get back to me. But the challenge was, only because they were non confrontational, they didn't want to communicate openly to me, I never got it back. And only after a week or two, when I tried to reply back to them, they said that they weren't comfortable in doing extra work or getting back to me with this proposal. But I was pretty surprised. I was thinking, why couldn't you tell me in that interview itself, or you could have messaged me at that time? But it was important for me to understand that it just comes across as a part of the culture, where they don't want to have the conflict, they don't want to kind of express themselves in an open way, and that's a part of it. The action step to take, or which I think so I could have taken as well over there, was to get a reaffirmation and asking them a question clearly that do you have any doubts, do you have any questions, anything with regards to this, do you think you would be able to submit it, and would you be able to submit it by a particular time, and if they have anything else that could be discussed on the interview itself. So having that clear communication would have made things better. One of the other things I've seen is when we are able to delegate tasks or projects, especially when it comes to cultural backgrounds, it's always important to sometimes over communicate and really understand what are they expecting, and reiterating as well over and over again, and asking them what do they expect. So this plays a really important role. So we know that in certain backgrounds, it's important and easier to over communicate than having a communication gap. And when we reiterate and also communicate in a crystal way, this reduces the back and forth and also the miscommunication that happens, which can lead to animosity and confusion as well. So when we have a clear cut communication method, it just becomes so much more easier for everyone involved in the project and the business. Another very common misconception I can see, and I have personally experienced, is people when they come from a different cultural background, calling you by the name sir and madam, which I personally feel very uncomfortable with. And also, I believe that it can become a barrier in communication. Because when you call people sir and madam, they are putting you in a pedestal. And the challenge with that is when you put someone on a pedestal, you won't communicate openly to them. Okay. Whatever is there in your mind, that won't come across. And there will always be a bit of fear associated with it as well. So, one thing that we always keep telling our team members, especially when we work with remote teams, is to reiterate to them over and over again, even with anyone in our leadership team, not to call them sir, not to call them madam, because we have seen that that can be a huge chokehold on the culture, and everyone, can't open up and communicate openly with everyone. I hope you got some really good value out of this particular episode, especially being aware and understanding about the differences in culture, the demographics from people come from, but also the strengths, all right? How important it's going to be to leverage these strengths to your business and how it can add value to your customers as well. Do let us know as well if you have personally experienced anything similar with running your remote teams, and I'd be really keen to know about it as well. If you got any value from today's episode, make sure to subscribe so you never miss the mindset, the strategies, and the leadership insights you need to scale with remote teams and grow a smarter business. If you want more support, check out the link in the show notes for our free remote team playbook that will help you hire, train, and lead a world-class remote team. And don't forget to follow us on socials at Darshan Chavan. And remember, scale smarter, not harder.